Apple Music. Apple Music. Apple Music. Apple Music. Music. Apple Music. Apple Music has been my streaming service of choice since 2015, when I discovered that for 3 months, I could listen to any song, anytime, all the time. And did I use these 3 months to listen to Beauty Behind the Madness like The Weeknd himself was threatening to clap my ears so I could never hear it again? Perhaps. But 10 years into the game, I'd like to think of myself as an Apple Music expert. You know, the same way someone who uses the bathroom every day could consider themselves a bowel movement expert. But thousands of streaming minutes later, and an unhealthy obsession with specific songs, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that I got beef with Apple Music. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Josh, what did Apple Music ever do to you? To which I would say, first of all, how do you know my name? I have yet to reveal it. And also, where do I start? June 30th, 2015. A day that would revolutionize streaming forever. 7 years after Spotify already did it, but who's keeping score? As we saw a beautiful Apple Music birth, the successor to the iTunes throne. Now, this model was a game changer for me, and I'm sure it was for many others. You meant to tell me that I no longer had to decide between paying $1.29 for Rap God or $1.29 for Know Yourself. I could just listen to both whenever I wanted. Sublime! This quickly opened up the proverbial musical floodgates for me, and I have not looked back since. Partly because I am miles away from where I started, and to try and switch to another streaming service now would simply be folly. And with over 100 million songs to choose from, there's no shortage of music to discover. Did you just say 100 million songs? I sure did. Wait, oh my god. The human mind was not made to comprehend such a number. And they are adding, and I swear to God, I double checked this like 10 times, 20,000 songs a day. Meaning, it would take you 41 days to clockwork orange your ears to a pair of AirPods just to get through one day of music added. Some of the music is good, some of it not so good. So it can help to have something hold our little hands to guide us to the music we might like, right? And I'm sure a decade into the establishment of this fine service that they have it all ironed out and that the algorithm is perfect, right? Right? Oh god, what is that zooming in behind me? No, we can't do this again. Please, somebody help me. Somebody help me. The Artist Station. For those of you that don't know, when you listen to a particular artist on Apple Music a bunch, one neuron will fire to the only other neuron in Apple Music's brain and say, oh, I think this guy liked this music, and create a station based on that artist and artists similar to them. Exhibit A, Rex Orange County and Similar Artist Station. If you're unaware, Rex Orange County is a great little British boy with some emotional but poppy tracks that are stripped back in a low-key manner. Or as Wikipedia would describe his music as jazz, hip-hop, bedroom pop, soft rock, lo-fi, indie rock, pop rocks, Woodstock, can't stop, won't stop, on top, never flop, big feet, big. Now, based on this, the gears in your head might be turning. Who could some of his contemporaries be? Perhaps Daniel Caesar. They just collabed recently. What about Steve Lacy? He's got that pop and R&B that all the TikTokers were loving a few years ago. Maybe Mac DeMarco? I'd say these are all great guesses and a great place to start. Now let's see what Apple Music thinks. Off rip, we've got Lovin' Is Easy. A strong start. A Rex Orange County song is sure to make the Rex Orange County fans go, wow, this sure is the Rex Orange County and Similar Artist Station, alright. Next is Infernami by Steve Lacy. He was in our list, still another strong choice. Up next, we've got Sexy to Someone by Clairo. A great choice and an even greater track. Next, we have The Way Life Goes by Lil Uzi Vert. Personally, not the direction I would have chosen, but I guess I could see the vision if I closed my eyes. We're right back on track with Lost by Frank Ocean. But then, the person who's queuing up these songs took Frank Ocean a little too seriously and got lost himself as he queues up Bust Down by Trippie Redd. Huh? Okay, this one loses me a little bit, but let's see if they can correct course here. Next up, we've got Happiness by Rex Orange County. Okay, a safe choice, but still in line with the promise of the station. But then you have... Wait, do you guys hear that? What is that? Lemonhead by Tyler the Creator? What are you doing here? Look, I get it. They've collabed together in the past, so technically they could be seen as a similar artist. But just because the Wiggles and Tame Impala work together doesn't mean that the Wiggles are working on their next psychedelic pop album, talking about the complexities of tying your shoe and how fun it is to blow bubbles. Although, on second thought, I feel like the world could really use an album like that right now. So, actually, get to it, Wiggleman. All right, let's take a look at another artist. We've got Daft Punk. Now, if you haven't heard of Daft Punk, you're just lying to me now and you're trying to embarrass me. I just know it. Legendary French duo Daft Punk, famous for their innovative electronic music that can be found in Tron, the Rock and Roll Roller Coaster, my Apple replay from last year. Okay, point is, they got really good music. Now, let's say you've got an itch to listen to Daft Punk and, dare I say, some similar artists if you're feeling so devilish. Let's see what Chef Apple Music has cooked up for us. Starting off, we've got Motherboard. Again, a great start. After that, we've got Red Lights by Tiesto. An interesting choice. I suppose it has some house elements in the chorus, so I'll give it a cautious pass for now. Then we have the most egregious shift yet. Often by The Weeknd. Are you kidding me? How do you mess up this bad? I'm not mad. I'm frankly just very disappointed in this choice of song. All right, let's see if they can get it back together after that shift. Next up, we have The Moment by Tame Impala. Honestly, I'm impressed they could even reel it back to a semblance of electronic music after that shift. Let's see what they've got after that. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough by MJ. Frankly, I've had enough of these station picks. And look, I love Michael Jackson as much as the next guy, but what is he doing here? You guys got one more chance to bring this back, or we're just moving on. Next up, we got, oh my god, it's him again. Run It Up by Tyler the Creator. I wish I was making this up, but honestly, these segments are writing themselves at this point. These are just two examples, and I think for the most part that the song selection is fine. But I just find it so weird how Apple Music will shift from the parent genre and then snap right back in line. Like, there's no reality in my mind where I can draw a semblance between Trippie Redd and Rex Orange County. One I saw fighting for my life in mosh pits in the deep Miami summer heat, and the other one I saw at a cute little venue up in St. Augustine. These two artists are not the same, and I'm tired of being gaslit into thinking that they are. For giggles, I decided to do a third round, and this was the Kendrick Lamar and Other Artists station. Now, if there's one thing I know about music, I know rap, and I know who's got it and who's not it. Now, I kid you not, as soon as I click on the station, look whose goofy ah decides to show up.
Anita Max Win.
Now, gee willikers, if memory serves me right, I feel like there was a whole movement last year dedicated to how Kendrick Lamar wasn't like Drake. Now, what was that song called again? We Are Not the Same? No, that doesn't sound right. You're Much Different Than I? No, that doesn't sound right either. Oh well, I guess maybe it just never happened.
I see dead people.
Now, some of you may not be aware of this autoplay feature that I speak of. If you click the right buttons on Apple Music, you'll eventually be met face to face with a little infinity sign. You may be thinking to yourself, what's the meaning of this? Infinite music? Impossible. You just told me that there was only 100 million songs, so there has to be an end somewhere. To which I say, nay, nay, sweet summer child. Just as the universe shall continue to expand until it reaches far beyond limits once believed to be impossible, the music shall continue to play as our bones are returned to the earth as nutrients to sustain its life force. What a neat feature. I'm sure it's great at playing music curated to a specific song or album you're listening to, right? This feature caught my attention after listening to Magdalena Bay's Imaginal Disc. According to Apple's website, this feature will play songs that are similar to the songs you just listened to. Now, this album has a lot of synth pop elements to it, which is some of my favorite music to listen to. So I thought, what a great feature to have. I get to listen to more synth pop after listening to some synth pop. What could synth popably go wrong? Believe it or not, our issues start rather quickly. We leave off Imaginal Disc with this sweet sounding outro. And then on the horizon, we can see Bjork heading towards us with this ominous and off-putting sound headed our way. Then we've got Turning Wheel by Spelling, which sounds like a song that would play as a small village plans its uprising against its oppressive government. We then have our first semblance of similarity in Boys a Liar Part 2. Good on them for throwing this song in here. It's a banger, so congratulations, you got one right so far. Then you've got Drake Era by JPEG Mafia. I'm sorry, we've strayed a little bit off the beaten path here. We've taken I-95 to the rings of Saturn with this one. If you play Imaginal Disc followed by this, you're facing a minimum of 2 life sentences, no chance of parole, with a death sentence pending. Now, there's nothing wrong with these songs. In fact, independently, I like all of them. I think JPEG Mafia, Bjork, and Spelling, they're all great artists. But are they what I'm looking for after listening to Imaginal Disc? Try again. Let me give you some examples of what I would play. Guess by Charlie XCX, Super Ultra Modern Graphic Girl by Chapel Roan, The Isle by Pink Panthers, Nobody by Mitski. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not that hard to find songs that are similar to the parent material. I'm sure if I can do it, the billion-dollar company can do it as well. For the spirit of fairness, I decided to give this another go with a singular song. After hours of litigious screening and a 4-round interview process, I decided to use Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst for this experiment. Most people refer to this as Kendrick's magnum opus, the pinnacle of storytelling. Surely Apple Music will give us a song that even tries to hold a candle to something as great as this song. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a phone call. What's that? The next song we've got is Wet Dreams by J. Cole. The one where he talks about wanting to have sex with the girl from his math class. That's the best we've got? Perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, this song is a classic, and yes, it has some storytelling elements to it, so I'll give them credit for that. But something tells me if we were to head on over to a little app called Spotify, we'd get a bit more of a deeper and meaningful song. Something like APIDTA by Jay Electronica, or hell, even Kendrick has some songs that can go toe-to-toe with Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. You've got Mother I Sober, Fear, Duckworth, songs like that. I'll be honest, I got a taste of Spotify back in 2022, and it was hard to go back to Apple Music after that. But I want to keep paying for it after I graduated from college, and that Apple Music family plan was waiting for me with open arms once I came back. But when Spotify would pick a song for you, it felt like when you were a kid and you mentioned offhand that you liked Pokemon, and your aunt just happened to overhear that. And they knew that you had a DS and that a new Pokemon game was coming out that year. So, no reason in particular, they just pick it up for you and gift it to you. Just because they wanted to, and they knew it would make you smile. And oh boy, did it. Apple Music feels like that other family member that forgot it was your birthday, and your mom had to call them and is chewing them out because they're already late to the party. They show up, hand you a bag of scratchers, say, have at it, and then head to the nearest cooler to sip on some brewskis. We continually pay for a slap in the face, and yet wonder why our cheeks burn.
There's always hope.
Now, I will say, I am impressed with the playlists that are curated specifically to the user. From experience, I can say that they generally stay in line with the theming of the playlist, and I've actually found some pretty good songs from these. It shows that they're trying. Whatever team is in charge of them is doing a really good job, so shout out to them. Go stage a coup and overthrow Tim Cook or something. Y'all got potential. I've also found that the mood-specific radio stations are also pretty good, and again, I found a lot of songs that I like from there. My only gripe is that I tend to hear a lot of the same songs repeated over and over on these radio stations, so it can get kind of stale over time. Now, there's nothing wrong with listening to the music you like. I know that's my go-to, and it's got to take a real sense of curiosity or a really good recommendation for me to break outside of my niche. I don't know why I sounded like a hunter-gatherer there. But If you are looking for new music to listen to, there's tons of resources out there. Generally, I just ask my friends for music recommendations. They've usually got pretty good taste in music, and it's just nice to connect with them in that way. I've also found a lot of good music through YouTubers like Anthony Fantano, Brad Taste in Music, Hivemind. They've shown me a lot of good music and have helped shape my music taste into what it is today. So yeah, that's my beef with Apple Music. I feel like I barely scratched the surface with it, and it may warrant a follow-up video in the future. But if you've made it this far into the video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.